What's up, everybody? We are here 1 week post show, Wednesday, September 4th. I woke up about 8 pounds heavier than I did the morning of show day, which isn't too bad at all. A lot of competitors will balloon over 20 to 30 pounds in just that weekend, but it only takes one time going overboard and puking that same night to learn your lesson, and also just blowing out your physique. But, anyways. I woke up about 8 pounds heavier, which isn't too bad. It isn't great. Some competitors can, it's actually easy to stay within one or two, but I decided to go ahead and enjoy some good food. And there's a number of other reasons why I am holding on to more likely more water than not. One being I'm not doing an hour and 40 minutes of cardio every single day anymore. Doing just an hour, and even then the hour is a pretty brisk hour. It's not like I was when I was doing cardio for competition, where I was like basically doing a bike race every time I would do cardio, pushing to my absolute limit, standing up and upping the resistance to really bring out my legs and the conditioning in my legs. Now it's more of like I guess like a leisurely bike ride. I still up the resistance, but I don't stand. I sit the entire time. I'll stand every once in a while just to give my ass a bit of a break, because an hour on that seat does take a toll on it. So sometimes you want to stand up, give it a break. But besides that, I'll sit down and just do the hour sitting on my phone or watching a video or a movie or a TV show, something simple. Whereas when I was on prep, I was definitely watching something on TV, but I was more locked in and focused on what I was doing with squeezing my legs, pushing them to their limits and whatnot. So that's one of the reasons why I'm probably holding on to a little bit of more water than what I was before. And it's also healthier because the day I weighed in and the day I hided in, I had lost so much body fat that the bottom of my feet had actually lost all the body fat as well. I hided in at 5'7 3/4" when I'm actually 5'8", so I lost all the fat on the bottom of my feet. And finally today, they're slowly stopping hurting. They're starting to not hurt, I should say. My mind's still a little bit in a fog sometimes when I'm speaking, but so what happens is all the fat comes off of your feet, and what's left is just fucking bone. And so when you're walking without any kind of cushion or support, like sandals or slippers, you are just in pain, because it's literally just bone, especially when you're on like a hardwood or a tile. It's just like bone, and it's just, ooh, it hurts. And same thing with your ass. Your ass becomes so depleted of fat that when you sit down, if you don't have good cushion, it starts to hurt after a while. Even when you have good cushion, after a while, it starts to hurt. And so gaining that fat on the bottom of my feet and on my ass is definitely good and healthy, and that's going to contribute to the weight gain. I'm also not on any hardeners or anything else. I've stopped everything, and so that's definitely going to allow my body to kind of go back to its natural state a bit and retain water, because I'm not taking the anti-estrogens to keep the water weight off and keep that water retention down. I'm still drinking massive amounts of water, at least a gallon to two a day. But I did enjoy some good drinks with a friend, this past weekend. But before we get into everything post-show, I think I wanted to show you guys a quick physique update to see where I'm at. Just slightly heavier than what I was show day, and then we'll go ahead and sit back down and go over post-show mentality, thoughts about the show now that we're in a more stable state, being home and not directly off the stage. Alright, so it's kind of hard with this camera angle, but as you can see, we're still pretty dry. Nothing too much, but we are up 8 pounds. Like I said, my feet feel amazing, so that's definitely where some of my weight gain has come from, because there's a little bit more padding down there. So like I said, it's really easy to, there we go, blow out your physique post competition, eating all those good snacks and everything. So still looking pretty dry. Obviously not as dry cut striated as we were the day of show, but still pretty decent, and that's what I'm saying. You gotta really mitigate the snacks. So when I see competitors with all these fancy crumble cookies and all that stuff post show, I'm just like, ooh, you're gonna be hating yourself in the morning because one, you're gonna look at yourself in the mirror, all your hard work and diet's gonna be done, and your stomach's gonna hurt. So let's go ahead and sit back down, and we'll continue talking. All right, so post-show thoughts. Looking back, I was definitely in a really bad headspace when I first got off the stage. Like I said, I had worked really hard for those 16 weeks, and it had taken a toll on me in all aspects, physically, mentally, emotionally. And so coming off that stage, getting that placing, just wasn't the best for me at the moment. But looking back at it, it's definitely something that I'm proud of, the package that I brought. It's something that I've never had before. Anybody that I show pictures to is just like, wow, you look fucking amazing. And honestly, I have to just acknowledge that. And yeah, I looked fucking amazing for who I am and what I am. And so that's what I'm taking it as, And so is it hard? Yeah, but it was really hard because, like I said in my previous video, so many people helped me for this prep, and I felt like I had let them down. But in speaking to them and seeing them this past weekend after my show, I definitely know that that's not the case. I got to see my dog, my son Blue, the second I landed here in LA, and that was definitely a great pick me up that I definitely needed. He was so happy to see me, and so that definitely raised my mental state a lot, and so that definitely helped. But also going out with my best friend and seeing him, which I got to see him like a total of I think twice during this prep because I was just so focused and doing it. And he works, I work, and then I have aside from work we have training and posing and cardio. And so I got to see him like a total of like twice in 16 weeks. And he lives literally 2 minutes down the street from me. So we see each other quite often most of the time, except for when I'm on prep. But he understands. And even he was like, you know what, man, you did the damn thing. You went to Pittsburgh. It's something that I would have never done. And, you still look amazing. And I know you're going to do better and you're going to do more. And so, I really appreciate hearing that from him. So him and I went out Saturday, had some fun at the bar that I work at. They definitely took care of us there, so that was a good time. But then after that, the next day I got to see my grandma, and that was even better, spending time with her. I had to miss her birthday because I was on prep, and honestly, I got to see her for her birthday before they went out to dinner and everything, but I was so close to show. I think I was like 2 weeks out. I think it was the weekend before I flew out to Pittsburgh is when her birthday was, and she came by, and I had to eat my meal, and I was sitting there eating my meal, looking so miserable, and my grandma was like, do you want something else to eat? Like, and the whole grandma thing, even though she knows I can't, and she knows, she was making a joke of it, trying to lighten my spirit. And so getting to spend the day on Sunday with her was great. Eating some great food with them, definitely enjoyed some good food in moderation, and that's something that you can definitely do post-show. You just have to know your limits and where you're at, So I would have a good breakfast, and then I wouldn't eat like every 2 hours. I would let that digest and maybe have a good lunch. On Sunday when I did hang out with my grandma, we went to breakfast with my mom and my grandma, and then I kind of took a nap, let my food digest, and then we went out to dinner. I had a small snack in between, so I ate good that day, but I also mitigated and watched my calories, my carbs. Although when we went to the steakhouse, those rolls were too damn good. I really had to watch my hands. But that's a good way to mitigate. Maybe just doing 2 big meals with a snack in between. Post show, it's not really crucial that you're having to be eating all this crazy way the way we were prior to being on prep. But today, Wednesday, I am back on diet. Essentially, what that means is that we are once again eating the way we were eating on prep to kind of hit baseline, kind of shut off some of that water weight that we attained from the beers, from the rolls. And so that way, by the end of this week, when I send check-ins to my coach, he'll send me my first reverse diet plan for the week. And so what essentially that means is that we are going to slowly reincorporate more carbs and calories into my diet because for those of you that are new or just want some basic information on bodybuilding and dieting and even just dieting in general, like if you go on a hard diet to reach a weight that you want to reach, you can't just right away be like, all right, I reached my goal weight, I'm going to start eating again, because you're just going to regain that weight. But what you have to do is, I'm not saying you have to stick to that really strict calorie deficit and low carbs or whatever you're on. You can adjust once you reach your goal weight to maintenance, but you're going to still have to somewhat reverse into it, slowly, week by week, add in a few more grams of carbs, a few more calories, until you reach that maintenance carb area. So that's what we're going to be doing. So today I am back on essentially what I was eating before on prep the last week. So I did have some carbs in the form of a rice cake and some honey. I still can't speak. Some rice cake and some honey this morning with my breakfast. And I had a small bowl of berries. Now that I'm not stepping on stage, I do enjoy some fruit with my breakfast. But I had 7 egg whites, 1 whole egg. I threw a whole egg in there just for some flavor because I'm so done with egg whites, and a protein shake. And then for meal 2, I did ground beef and some veggies. And then for my next meal in a bit, I will do ground beef and some veggies. And then I will probably do ground beef and some sweet potato for my last 2 meals, or actually steak for my last meal with maybe some sweet potato. And then we'll repeat that for the next few days. And like I said, I'll send check-ins on Friday to my coach. And come Sunday, he'll send me my first reverse diet for this coming week. So what is the goal? The goal is to reverse into a bulk. However, and I haven't even told my coach this, and you probably noticed it when I was doing my posing right now and whatnot, but I actually have a hernia. This is actually number 3. I was joking with my mom that they need to give me a punch card over at Kaiser because, the 4th one's got to be free, right? Come on. But yeah, I have, this one's right above my belly button. The other ones have been actually like under the belt, kind of right here, or they've been up here, but like they've never been really noticeable. It was only through the pain that I felt that they were like, well, yeah, it's a hernia pain. But this is the first one that's actually noticeable, and that's kind of why my core control was really off this season, especially when I was posing in front of my coach. He was like, dude, what's up with your core stabilization? And I was just like, sorry, I've just been forgetting. But in reality, I just didn't want to squeeze them too hard during posing practice, because I knew that come the time to step on stage, I was going to have to press them and squeeze them hard. And sure enough, after I stepped off stage, I looked at myself in the mirror, and it was more noticeable than it had ever been before, which is something that I knew and I was going to happen, and I accepted it. But that's why I also mitigated the squeezing of my abs leading into my show, which contributed to my lack of core control and oblique control. So that definitely hurt me. But with my placing of 18th out of 23, that didn't hurt me that fucking much. But yeah, I haven't told him yet, but I do have a doctor's appointment on Friday with general surgery for them to confirm it, so that way they can schedule me. The downtime is only about a month. My second one took me 2 months because I had some fluid retention, so I'm hoping this one is just a month. Hopefully my body knows, like, okay, let's get this done and over with. And that's kind of what I'm going into this surgery, the mentality I'm going into this surgery with. I remember the first hernia, I was devastated. I was crushed. I was crying. I was like, what the fuck? This is the end. Like, I'll never be able to be a bodybuilder and blah, 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 blah. Come the second one, I was like, all right, let's get this shit done. And come this one, I'm just like, all right. I was basically just waiting to finish nationals at this point. And so I'm hoping to get it done ASAP, so that way it's during my reversing period, and that way post surgery, we just hit the ground running with the weights. And I can actually do that. It doesn't take that long to build back up, and strength is kind of just like, it's not even a question of, oh, you got to be careful with the area. No, no, no. It's just literally just building back up in strength in the gym. There's no resting period for that. It's just because it's just a patch that they slap on there to keep everything inside. And it was funny because when I made the phone appointment with them, they're like, "So, are you sure you want us to fix it? Because if it's not causing you any real issues and stuff, we shouldn't probably do surgery." And I was just like, I'm a bodybuilder and I'm about to enter my bulking phase, and I am about to push some heavy weight. I would appreciate it if you guys can slap a patch on there, so that way when I'm, lifting heavy, my insides just don't burst out of me. And the doctor was like, "Okay, yeah, sounds good. We can do that." And I was like, "Thank you." Like I said, third one, this is just the mentality. It's kind of like flying to me now. I remember back in 2020 when I started flying, I hadn't been on a flight since I graduated high school when I went to Florida. Before then, it was literally since when I was like in 2001 when I was a real young. But I've been flying a lot since then. Now I'm just like, all right, let's get on the plane, let's go. Come on, just get me to where I need to be. I don't give a fuck about flying. Like, I know we're at 30,000 feet in the air, but fuck it. Like, that's the mentality I have about that now, and that's kind of the mentality I have about this hernia. So I have an appointment on Friday, hoping to get that scheduled and done ASAP. Like I said, I haven't even told my coach, so I'm going to have to tell him once I do get it scheduled in. But like I said, that's why I wanted to do it immediately after I was done competing, because that's going to put me in the reverse phase. And that's the best time, because right now I could be pushing heavy weight, and I am going to be pushing heavy weight up until my surgery to make the most out of the time. But my calories aren't going to be up there. So, that's another thing that is going to be a concern as I get bigger with the hernia. Obviously, as my stomach gets bigger, as I get bigger, as my muscles get bigger, it's going to push the hernia out more. So I definitely want to take care of that before I start the real bulk of my bulk. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on post show. I really didn't think I was going to make this video. I kind of just thought about it yesterday. It'd be a great thing to do, a week post show thoughts and everything. So we're going to take a year to grow, and come 2026 we will step back on stage and make a statement. 1 full year of just growing and training with this coach is going to be a world of difference versus me just doing a prep with them. And so I'm definitely looking forward to this next year and a half, because the half is going to be when we start the prep for the show. And then after that, I don't know if, depending on how we look, we might just go straight to nationals from that show, as given that we look undeniable enough to just take that overall and then just go straight into nationals from there. But we'll see what we can do in 1.5 years. Not gonna say goodbye for 1.5 years. I'm gonna take some time off. Probably not post too many videos. Maybe once or twice a week during my bulk. If I do anything interesting, I'll try to bring you guys along, and I'll probably just try and film my more intense workouts, which is kind of hard for me to determine because all my workouts are quote unquote intense, for me at least. I like to think I approach every workout with the intensity. Obviously there's those days where you don't want to go and you're just like, fuck, all right, get it done, get in, get out. But then there's those days where you just crush shit. And the thing is, you really don't know when those days are going to be, but I am definitely looking forward to those days, because those days are very, very far and few in between when you're on prep, when you're low on calories, when you're low on carbs, and it's so hard to just do what you have to do. So that's another thing. I do feel a lot better because I can do what I have to do aside from other things. Like, I can play with my son Blue. I can, throw the ball in between sets when I'm training clients. Before, towards the end of the prep, he would drop the ball and I'd be so tired. I would feel so bad not just taking 2 steps, but then I'd also have to climb over a machine or two. And grab the ball and throw it for him, but he would just stare at me, and I would just feel so bad. So now I have the energy to do that. I've been playing with him a lot more, hanging out with him a lot more, and so I'm looking forward to the winter time too, so I can take him to the snow, maybe take him on a beach trip, before the summer's end. And yeah, so here we are, 1 week post show, 8 pounds up, not looking too shabby for not taking anything but basically protein at this point. I'm not even drinking BCAAs or EAs or anything like that. I'm just taking multivitamins, allergy pills, joint supplements, supplements for my liver health. After everything, definitely stopped Halo immediately because that's the most toxic. So, but that was also the thing that was drying me out and hardening me out the most as well. So that's another thing that, another reason why I am no longer as hard and dry. But it's all part of the process. The next part of the process is to lose the lines and gain the size. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for coming along this 16-week journey. Like I said, stepping on stage, I felt like I let you guys down, but in speaking with a lot of you, I definitely did not, and I appreciate you guys and all your words of encouragement. They inspire me. And so with that being said, if you haven't already, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, remember, it's earned, it's never given. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.